The first vessel we review is a Nabcat 1375 from Moen Marine or Marine Design, which is a typical workboat in the fish farming industry. The stability poster for this vessel contains a summary of the most important stability related information. It also describes the restrictions that you must comply with in order to ensure that the vessel's stability is maintained at all times. The stability poster must be displayed on the bridge. And as we review these stability data, we need to keep in mind the questions that you should be able to answer at all times. What is the size of my GM, and is it larger or smaller than in other loading conditions? What is the range and extent of my GSET curve? How much freeboard do I have, and are there any operational restrictions relating to use of crane or cargo or any other operations that I need to take into account? First off, in the stability poster, we see here it's not been assessed for towing, not approved for anchor handling, has been approved for the use of crane. No liquid cargo in the holds, call sign, stability approved, a maximum deck cargo of 24.4 tons, no calculations for ice accretion on deck, and the minimum allowed freeboard is 0.601 meters. Moving on, we see for the 6 different conditions. Condition 1, departure harbor, in ballast with 100% fuel but no cargo in the hold, no cargo on deck, no ballast, and in that condition no restrictions on the use of crane. The vessel has a 32 ton meter crane, and you can do 32 use the full power of the crane. The same applies for condition number 2, where you only have 10% fuel and water but no cargo. Then we have an intermediate condition with 7 tons of cargo on deck. Still no restrictions on the use of crane. Moving on to the last conditions, we see condition 4 with you have 10% fuel, still 7 tons of cargo on deck, and you have no restrictions on the use of crane. But for the fully laden conditions with 24.4 tons of cargo on deck, you have restrictions on the use of crane, and it refers to the crane diagram. We see further that the center of gravity of the deck cargo is 1 meter above the deck line. In the stability manual, you have the contents, vessel instructions, stability manual, guidance for the shipmaster, maximum VCG allowed. We'll have a look at all these, and we will also review a couple of the loading conditions in the manual. Vessel information, BMLD, that's the breadth molded, DMLD, that's the depth molded. The stability manual is just a manual that Moen Design uses as a standard. It's a compendium on stability, not vessel specific, but very handy. The guidance and advice for the shipmaster in Norwegian are also good advice, but general, not vessel specific. It says that centers of gravity are referred to the baseline on the vessel. The baseline is an imaginary line at the bottom of the boat, parallel with the construction waterline, the sign waterline, pretty much the same as the keel K. Has no significant impact for us. Good seamanship, obviously. You have to make sure that all cargo and equipment is secured at sea. Watertight doors and hatches must be kept closed at sea. Beware of free surface effects. You have, if you have an unexpected heeling, you need to determine why, obviously. Wash ports and draining ports from the deck must be kept free and open at all times.